Hello to everyone listening. I hope you're doing really very well. I apologize in advance. I do have a bit of a sore throat, so I apologize for the noise disturbances. I'm going to keep this short and simple. I just wanted to sum up some of the conventions that I want to use in my short film, along with the inspiration for my short film. So it's sort of a mind map, and this is recorded prior to any shooting. So it will include all of the potential things that I want to incorporate into my short film. Now, this is our agenda for this presentation. I'm going to introduce you to the topic, and then we're going to go through these conventions one by one. Okay, so introduction to the topic. I wanted to let you know where the idea came from and why I decided to go with a topic like this. So when I was in primary school, there were some kids that I used to observe that were a little overwhelmed by loud noises, and they used to get worried if there was a lot happening around them. They had medical issues, they were from one family that was established. But there was also another kid who had no medical condition, and yet he had the same problem. The teachers asked him whether he had a medical condition, and his answer was always no. But that particular kid was not bullied by his friends or his classmates. Instead, he was bullied by his teachers. The teachers used to say that you're just acting, you're doing this for attention. There's no way that you have no medical condition and yet you are annoyed by voices and noises. It was sort of a bizarre mystery for them. And just the fact that he was a boy, just due to the fact he was even further stigmatized because a man in in our society is supposed to be rough and tough, and he is not supposed to be bothered by any issue at all. And it was the same in this case as well. He was told that he was a sissy because nothing should affect a man and nothing should trouble him, and he should definitely not act on whatever was bothering him and rather just toughen up. Now, my younger sister has a medical problem where she has vertigo by loud noises or voices that disturb her. So it's basically loud noises induced vertigo. And I could easily cast a female member in this short film, but I did not because I wanted to cast a male lead in this short film because I wanted to portray that this sort of an issue has nothing to do with your gender. What's wrong with feeling something that is really not in your control? Now, sensory overload is related to autism. Individuals who have autism do not like certain sounds or textures or different sort of everyone has a distinct issue. No one has all common issues, obviously. But you can also have sensory overload issues if you do not have autism. Some people do not like a lot of loud noises, some do not like bright lights, some are overwhelmed by different sort of textures. There's an array of descriptions out there. Now, people in Pakistan specifically do not understand that this is an actual issue. Friends and relatives are another talk, but parents of the child themselves do not realize that this is a real issue that their child is facing and that they should address it rather than just tell their child to forget it because it's a phase or something, because it's not. It's not something he can forget, and it's not a phase that he can get out of. So, the issues I've explained in the previous slide contribute to the reason why I decided to cast a male in this short film as the main lead. Secondly, I really wanted more people to understand that no one does something like this just for attention. I want the world to see the boy that I saw in primary school, and I want them to help him and ease him into their environment rather than just shout at him so that he winces and cowers away. I wanted to make this short film to kind of educate some people in Pakistan that this is a normal thing and that they should try to help the other person out. I don't think that a lot of people, specifically in Pakistan, are aware that this sort of a problem exists for many individuals, and I wanted to educate them on this. Okay, now, coming over to the mise-en-scene of a drama, short film specifically. Now, short films usually do not have really high budgets, so the setting is not really high tech. So, for this specific short film, I'm going to be using my house for most of the indoor shots along with the friend's house because we're just showing the life of a teenager, right? And it's a drama short film, so it's supposed to depict realism and the audience is supposed to relate to the character. So they're really mundane shots in a very mundane environment. Other than that, I'm also going to be shooting in some busy streets of Islamabad and Rawalpindi to show the chaotic side of the short film. And along with that, in contrast, I'm going to be shooting around my residential area as it's a very peaceful and quiet neighborhood. So I'm going to be shooting the scenes in which the character feels a sense of calm, where he's at peace in those locations. Now, the reason behind the locations being so simple is because of the budget of the short film. We are really low on budget because it's a student film, so we do not have a lot of money to spend on a very complex set. But other than that, it's also because of the genre of the short film. It's a drama and it's supposed to depict realism. The audience is supposed to relate to the character. And if they're not going to relate, if the set is way too complex, that the set is something that they won't really fit into, that they can't relate into, you know. So that's why the locations are very simple. They're shot at home. So, you know, the audience can really put themselves in the shoes of our main character. Now, coming over to one of the most important aspects of this short film, the use of sound and its conventions. The whole point behind this short film is behind sensory overload, auditory overload specifically, and sound plays a really very major role over here, as you all can probably already tell. Now, no dialogue is said by the character in the film, but there is a lot of focus on the sound and noises surrounding the boy because the whole short film is based on sensory overload, specifically auditory overload. I personally bought a mic so that I can amplify the sounds and show the audience how it really disturbs the boy. From small sounds like the ticking of an alarm clock or the murmurs of somebody to really loud sounds like maybe the sound of a blender, maybe the sound of traffic. Now, the name of the short film is Sound of Silence, and you can already tell that there is a lot of emphasis on sound and silence and what annoys him and what brings him calm. Since short films are of really short duration, they do not have time to build upon the dialogue a lot, and most films, that's why most short films do not have any dialogues. There is usually some sort of background music going on or some basically the whole short film is built through the actions of the character as well as through the background music. And we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be telling the audience the story through the sounds and through the actions of the actor. So I hope we can bring that to justice. I also have to do my research on background music so that the short film does not get boring, and basically the background music is also supposed to depict the mood and the tone of the scene, and basically as there are no dialogues, the background music is going to show the audience the mood of the character. Now, camera work and lighting. Now, for the camera work, short films don't have some established camera work. Obviously, we cannot do drone shots or bird eye views, because even though I would love for my short film to have such camera work, but we do not have the budget to even rent a drone. So camera work is fairly simple for short films. I will be using a tripod for my camera work, but I'm also going to be doing some handheld shots. I will be focusing on pans and tilts, but one shot that I really like is the over the shoulder shot because it really establishes the whole scene and setting for the audience. The setting and the scene in front of the character really shows the character's mood as well, and the whole mood of the scene. What the character is looking at, whether he is indoors or outdoors, it really shows us what the character, well, we can at least assume what the character is thinking. So, because this presentation is recorded prior to my shooting, I'm still trying to figure out what sort of camera work will look nice. And this is just, a general, this is basically just a general plan of what I want to do. Now coming over to lighting, camera work and lighting go hand in hand. Now I'm going to be using an S22 Ultra to film since I do not have a camera. And mobile cameras do not really work great in low lighting. The film is just really grainy. But we also have some scenes where the lighting is really dim. and we do not want to show a lot of light. So for those scenes, I'm going to be using a ring light. The flash of camera is not going to be used anywhere because it just basically ruins the whole look of the scene. I'm going to be using ring light. We can obviously adjust the lighting and the do we want a warmer tone of lighting? Do we want a colder tone? And I can really adjust the intensity of the lighting through that as well. And the lighting really depicts the again everything depicts the everything contributes to depicting the mood and the vibe of the film. So dim lighting shows some sort of conflict or some worry, and natural bright lighting shows that the conflict is resolved or there is happiness within the character. And just we're going to be using those aspects and hopefully bringing the moods felt by the character to your screens. Now over to editing. I think for short films, specifically for independent filmmakers, editing is one of the most important aspects of a short film. Because we do not have expensive or complex sets or professional cameras or lighting, editing is really what just brings the whole short film as a whole to your screens. From compiling all the clips together and making it into one whole short film to adding sounds and adjusting the lighting. Now, I'm going to be adding sounds post production into the short film as well, because I'm going to be using a mic to record some of the sounds, as during filming the sound quality is not really the best. So I'm going to be using my mic as well as my mobile's voice recorder to add some noises and sounds in post production. Other than that, obviously I'm going to be joining clips in together, adding transitions all through editing. I'm going to be using Adobe Premiere Pro and Shortcut for editing. These are two softwares that I'm comfortable with. Shortcut being a software that I'm most comfortable with because I used it even before my A levels media journey. Lighting and color grading will also be adjusted through editing. Color grading will be different in the scenes where the character is worried, and it's going to be different where the character is happy. It's going to be bluish and grayish and a little sad where there is some sort of a conflict. And once the conflict is resolved, the lighting and the color grading will be brighter, more on the yellow side because yellow is supposed to be a happy color. So all of that will be achieved through editing. That is pretty much it. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you again with my finished media project, and hopefully, you'll understand what my chaotic mind was trying to deliver to you all. Again, thank you very much.